Yes, so Megan William is a little girl that started tennis at 3, started swimming at 3 as well. And then at the age of 7 years old, when I was in the Cayman Islands, my mom moved us to the Cayman Islands, and I was playing tennis there with my first coach, Dean White. I did tell my mom and my dad that I would want to play tennis professionally. I wanted to take it serious and I wanted to start tennis professionally. So I do believe that I am the type of person that from a very young age I've always wanted to be a professional athlete, which comes in play of who I am in terms of very competitive. I take things very seriously, and I do believe that everything I do, that I always have to put my best towards it. So that's something I would describe myself as, just always doing my best. I'm also somebody who's very passionate about whatever I'm putting my efforts in. Whatever I'm doing is definitely with a lot of passion, and it's genuine, and it's never anything that I'm probably have to be forced to do. If I say I'm gonna do it, I'm going to do it. So that's how I would describe myself to start. My greatest moment in my athletic career was, there's so many, but the one that's always going to stick out to me was when I was 14 years old and I went to the island of Barbados to play the International Federation tennis tournament that was there every Easter. I would miss Easter family gatherings in St. Lucia and go out there and play tournaments. And that year, I got to the tournament with my dad, who was traveling with me at every tournament. And everybody was talking about this one girl who came from, I believe, Cayenne, which is a French island in the Caribbean. And everybody was saying how good she is and she's gonna win the tournament. And some people came up to me and said, Megan, you better watch out. She's really good and she's probably gonna beat you and stuff like that. And that was actually my final year in the International Federation tennis tournament. We actually made finals in that tournament. I was strong enough at 14 to not let all the noise get to my head. When I say noise, I mean everybody just speaking about how good she is and how she's going to win the tournament. I just went out there and I decided I'm going to play my game. I'm going to be aggressive and I'm going to just do everything I can to win, no matter how good she is, because if we made it to finals, that means we're both good. Played the match, and there was so many people watching. A lot of friends of mine, a lot of people who came up to me saying, Megan, you better watch out. It was the finals, so it was a very nice atmosphere to start with, and I kind of fed off the energy. My dad was obviously there, but he's very quiet, so he just, sat in the back. I knew he was there, but I like that. He's not, as loud as everybody else. So that kept me calm too. The match went on. It was a tough battle. She's a great player, great sportswoman as well. I ended up winning the match. And at the time, I did not understand that I won the match. I won, and it was just like, I did not know I won. That was a great highlight for me in my athletic career because prior to the finals, everybody was talking about this girl and how good she was. And then in the moment, I did what I had to do to come out victorious, which was a very proud feeling for me and very some weight off my shoulders too, because you just beat a girl that everybody was talking about. It was a lot of pressure on me to see, can I pull this through? And it was such a great memory because everybody was genuinely happy for me, because everybody at first, they did not think I would win, not in a bad way. It was just like, this girl is really good. That was also a breakthrough for me as an athlete, just understanding hey, you belong and you can do anything, you really put your mind to, and try to block off the noise, I would say, and just do your best and enjoy it too. I really enjoyed that match. I think that match was very fun and it's something that I'll remember for life. So that's definitely a highlight in my athletic career so far. Who has inspired me the most? So obviously that changes as you grow up. As an athlete, you start with some person, then it changes as it goes because new athletes are coming in and out. Definitely the Williams sisters, Venus and Serena. I would say the most because they have been that constant inspiration since a very young age to now. I still look up to them both. And that inspiration is more about no matter what your situation is, the only thing that's going to stop you is you. They have that attitude in terms of there was a lot of obstacles they faced, and every athlete has obstacles they have to face. It might not be the same, but at the end of the day, the only thing that is really stopping us in anything, sports, life, anything, family, work, is yourself. So that is from the Williams sisters. That's that inspiration they've always given. meditating, just having time in a quiet space where it's just kind of like me and my thoughts, and I'm writing down my thoughts and understanding my thoughts and trying to break it down a bit. And obviously I can't do it alone, so in tough times I give my parents a call. Thankfully they're always available when I need them. So during tough times I first take that time to isolate myself and my thoughts. I write it down, which is important because the writing it down just makes it easier to translate what exactly you're thinking about. And the reason why I emphasize I can't do it alone is because yes, I could write down my thoughts and try to figure it out, but it's okay to call somebody and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking about, this is what's on my mind. Can you help me make a decision, or can you help me understand why I feel, or these types of ways. So my parents I always call. I also call a really close friend of mine. We're actually best friends. She lives in New Zealand, which time difference is sometimes hard to reach her, but she has always been a big part of when I have those tough times. How can we break this down? How can we find a solution? First, I start by just meditating on my own, and then I call these 3 people to just help me break it down and figure it out. My transition from tennis to pickleball, actually my first tennis coach, Dean White, he introduced my brother and I to pickleball when we went to Atlanta for Thanksgiving in 2021. We went to play tennis with him, and then he gave us 2 paddles, and he's like, this is a new sport. And then we were like, I don't know, tennis is better. So I did not want to mess around with my tennis. And he introduced us to the sport, and I was just like, no way, this is not fun at all. Fast forward to 2024, last year, November, I met a couple of friends, and then they said, try pickleball. You should definitely try pickleball. Well, I said, I don't know, tennis is way better. I had the same response. And then I went to the park. I took up the invitation and I went to the park, and I was playing, and I was just like, why am I so good at this? I remember when I first tried it, I hated it, but I'm actually good at this. Stayed at the park for 5 hours playing pickleball. I was just playing, and I was not losing energy or anything. It was just going. And then I went again another week, the following week. This time I asked, hey, can we go? And then some people came up to me and they were just like, did you play tennis? And I said yes. And they was like, you're really good at pickleball, and the way you hit the ball is just insane. First, that influence of my friends, and then influence of people recognizing how good I was at pickleball. Thanks to my tennis background, I don't know how people just jump on a pickleball court and they're good. I think without tennis, I don't really know if I would be able to play pickleball. So that's how it started. And when I realized how good I was, that's when it was like, okay, I think I'm gonna stop playing tennis and let's see how we do with pickleball, because I feel like I can do this. So that was that transition. The lessons in tennis that have helped me with pickleball is definitely that competitive nature. Obviously, all sports have that competitive nature, but I learned competitiveness from tennis. So that's the first thing I've brought over from tennis to pickleball, that competitive environment. Tennis has taught me a lot of patience, and for some weird reason, you need way more patience in pickleball than tennis. For example, the scoring is different, so competitiveness, patience from tennis, I brought that as well. Definitely sportsmanship. Having that sportsmanship is important when you're playing matches, when you're playing tournaments. Sometimes I go to tournaments, and some people who do not have tennis backgrounds, you can tell, that sportsmanship is not there just because they don't have that background of another sport. So definitely being a very good sport from tennis has helped me with pickleball. So competitiveness, sportsmanship, that patience, some of the biggest 3 things that I've carried from tennis into pickleball. You could be very playful with it. You can be very, there's a lot of tricks and trades with how you hit the ball, and it can still work and it can still be good. That surprised me, because in tennis, if you're playful, you're not gonna win, or you're not going to do well. But pickleball, you can be very crafty in the sport, especially in doubles. Singles is different. You have to be very aggressive. And if you want to add some craftiness into it, great. But that has surprised me with how crafty you can be in pickleball and still win at the highest level. You can't really do that in tennis. So that has surprised me the most, the craftiness. Yes, so the biggest challenge I faced switching from tennis to pickleball, I am very tall. I mean, I'm only 5'8" on paper, but in person, I look way taller because of my legs. They're very long. So the biggest challenge right now is how much I have to stay low in pickleball. I mean, when I say low, I mean I have to go from 5'8" to like 2 feet because it's a much smaller court. The ball is a wiffle ball, so there's not much bounce. Everything is really low. So that's a big challenge for me, just being really tall and staying low 24/7. And because playing at the higher level, the ball is way faster. So imagine trying to go to 3 feet and also being fast. That's something I work on every day when I'm on the court or when I'm at the gym, just working on staying low. That's been a big challenge for me. The second challenge is that strong mental that you need while competing or waking up every day at 6 a.m. to go practice. Of course, I was used to that as a junior athlete growing up. As a college athlete, I was used to those things, but a 2-3 year gap of not doing that, and now you have to snap back into it mentally, that can be a lot, but it's definitely made me stronger. And because I want this so bad, it makes that challenge a little less challenging every day. But that's definitely been a challenge, just definitely getting back into that professional mode of discipline and doing all the things right every single day. There's really no off days because I'm not the best yet. I'm not number one yet, so I can't really have 2 days of just whatever. No, I have to stay disciplined 24/7. So these are the two challenges right now, just that physical aspect. I'm not getting younger, not saying that I'm old, but and then that mental aspect of being disciplined and understanding, you're not where you want to be yet, so you have to keep going. Not necessarily in a way where it's draining, but in a way where, you want this and you just have to make the sacrifices and do what you have to do. So these have been the two challenges for me. Yes, so that's the most fun for me. Definitely every time I walk into a tournament or any pickleball community, people think, people don't know where I'm from yet, until I speak and they're like, oh, where are you from? So that's the first thing of carrying that Caribbean heritage. I have an opportunity to say I am from the Caribbean. I am from St. Lucia. They never know where it is. So that's always nice to educate people like, hey, this is where this country is located. This is what this country is. And this is how I grew up. So that first thing of introducing the Caribbean to people and making it known, I think that's a lot of pride for me, because you get a chance to just speak about where you're from and speak about what it's like to be there and all these different things. Then the second thing of carrying that Caribbean heritage and being a St. Lucian is people just are mind blown by, how did you make it here? How did you get here? What do you mean you left at 17? And so that's always nice to speak about too, and it gives me a chance to reflect on, oh wow, I came from there and look at where I am now. Who would have thought? So that gives me that chance too. Another thing is, people enjoy listening to me speak because of my accent. So that's always nice because they've never heard that before. And even just my let's go sounds different. And that attracts people to watch me play. And so definitely being from the Caribbean, that's nice because when you open your mouth to speak, you're different. And I take a lot of pride in that because, like I said, it gives me an opportunity to speak about St. Lucia and how things are down there and how we grew up and whatnot. Everybody's different, but I do like the fact that in the pickleball community, I'm definitely that standout. Like, who are you? Where did you come from? And why did you come from the beach and come in this hot sun with no beaches? So that's definitely a big thing, and I just really love educating people about it. Not only St. Lucia, they start asking other questions about other islands because they've been on cruises or they see things on TV. So the nice thing is that I'm educated about the rest of the Caribbean as well, so it doesn't give me an opportunity to speak about St. Lucia, but about all the surrounding islands. And, thankfully I paid attention in school during history that I know so much about the other islands. Sometimes they want to know about other islands too. So I do think that's really nice. And I do think, taking that professional route and representing St. Lucia and the Caribbean on that global stage is big for the awareness of the sport in the Caribbean. We can play pickleball, and we can see what that does for us in our islands and in our regions. So I also take pride in that, in understanding that when I step out there and I'm live, I'm representing, an entire region, and a region that would be very proud, to see their relating island, in a sport of pickleball. Yeah, so my biggest thing with Ksquare when we had our first call, the biggest thing I admired was you guys mentioning how you guys want to be on this journey through the entire journey with me. That was very, very touching for me, because support always makes a difference. I believe in support. I believe in helping others. Ksquare group has definitely made it clear, like, we want to help you, not just today or this month. We want to help you through the entire journey. And I really, really admire that. It means a lot to myself and my family and my close friends. They care about me, so they really admire, like, there's other people other than us that believe in you and want to see you do great. So that means a lot to us. So thank you guys again. I'm really proud to know that I'm the first athlete that you guys have decided to invest your time in. That's really huge for me. I feel like that puts, a cape on my back, as like, that first athlete to represent Ksquare Group. And so these are the two things that definitely stand out to me. I think the biggest value is that community. I think Ksquare has definitely made it known that they are a company that is not about them, but helping the community and reaching out and giving back. So having Ksquare by my side is like, it's a win-win, because that's what I grew up on, community. I grew up on definitely helping others out with absolutely no want for a return. Just, we want to help you. We want to see how we can help you. And that's it. There's no, agenda or anything. So having Ksquare by my side is a win-win, because we both have the same agenda of just helping, reaching out to others, and not because you might think somebody doesn't need the help, doesn't mean they, don't need the help. You're just helping where you can, and no agenda of anything back. Yeah, so beyond the financial support, the inspirational, I love that we've partnered with a company that is so focused on inspiring the communities that they reach out to in different ways. So the inspirational way is just showing, the youth or anybody that's looking up to us that we want to inspire others by helping others. In terms of visibility, I think it's huge for a Caribbean company to partner with a Caribbean athlete. That's really big for visibility and just for people looking from the outside, looking in. With Ksquare and myself, the community impact, I think we both prioritize that. Just going back out to the community and seeing, what can we do to help the community get on board with us as well, in terms of what we're trying to do. I think with myself as an athlete, going into the community with Ksquare to spread the sport of pickleball in the community and getting more people to play and getting more talent, so we can have a big team of pickleball athletes from, anywhere. I think that's great, definitely, because you guys are not a sports company. So a non-sports company helping an athlete or being by the side of an athlete in the community, that's, I think that's huge, because it's just like, yes, we're two different categories, but we're still coming together as one. Yeah. And still, making an impact in the community. Yes, that's a great question. I think defining success right now, small wins. Small wins are important because I am at the level where I can't just walk on the court and wipe out, the girls. They're coming in and they want it as much as I want it. And success for me is if I have a tournament tomorrow, I'm writing down 3 to 4 small goals that I have for myself. Of course, the goal is to always win, but there's definitely things bigger than just winning. Because you could win, but you could have an ugly win. Success for me is small wins. And I can give an example. My last tournament, which was in Las Vegas, which is where I'm located right now, and I played the 5-0 division, which is the highest division in the amateur women's singles level. And my first small goal, was to go out there in my first match and give my best and have a great composed attitude. The goal wasn't to win, the goal was those 2 things. And I went out there and I won because of those 2 things that I was practicing on the court, just being composed and giving my best. That was a very small but big win for me, because it was a small win at first because I didn't have the goal to win, and then it became a big win for me because I actually won by doing those 2 things. Success for me at my point in my career is setting those small goals, working towards those small goals, and achieving those small goals. That has definitely helped me progress since I started competing 1 month ago. My advice to young athletes that want to be professional in any sport or semi-professional in any sport, my advice would be to, first, you have to know exactly what you want. Take time and think about, hey, what do I want? What do I want to be in this sport? Then the second thing I would say is whatever circle you have around you, ensure that circle understands, hey, this is what I want to do, and ask for that support, because my advice is you can't do it alone. So the more support you have, the better. So when you have those 2 things, now the athlete wants it, the people closest to the athlete want it as well, and we're all on board. I think, you're unstoppable as a person, as an athlete. So these are the first few things. And then my third thing would be to give 100% effort every day, even the days you feel like you don't want to. That's the test. That's where, we see we really want this. Also, my advice would be to, definitely balance out your life. Do the things that make you happy when you have time off, or, do things to relax your mind so you come back fresh and you come back motivated and determined to continue going. These are the things I would say as a young athlete, and enjoy the process. Do not give up. Sometimes we feel like we want to give up, but those are the testing times. Always be thankful for the support that you get, or every opportunity that you get. Be thankful for that. Enjoy it. Have fun, because if you're not enjoying it, it becomes hard. So definitely enjoy what you're doing and give your best at all times. Oh, there's so many things I want to say to Ksquare. But, meeting you guys so far has been amazing. You guys feel like, definitely family. It's just been I'm very thankful for it. And what I would like to say on behalf of myself and on behalf of my parents and my brother, we really thank you guys for seeing through this and, taking the step in and saying we want to be on board as well, because yes, we can do it as a family, but, the more support we have, the better. We're all about, just having that village around us. So I would like to say thank you to Ksquare Group for believing in us, seeing it through, and wanting to be on this journey, not just being on this a one-time thing, wanting to be on this journey with us. And I really look forward to, meeting more of you guys, and getting to know each other, and definitely, continuing to reach out to the community in any ways possible to continue spreading the word of the sport and inspiring everybody around us. Thank you again.